ZOE is an AP burst mage that relies on incredibly strong long-range abilities to nuke her opponents. But managing and utilizing various summoner spells and active items in a team fight is what separates a good ZOE from a great one. In today's video, we're going to be focusing on one Maxim, a ZOE one-trick with an 89% win rate in Season 9, and considered to be the best ZOE in the world.
This should be fun!
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Twigger, that of course is Lola, and we are back with another League of Legends #1 player in the World Series, and this time we are focused on one Maxim. We're currently ranked the #1 ZOE player in the world, and the stats that his ZOE has, so it's not too impressive in terms of this current season, because of course we did just start the season a couple months ago, but right now sitting with 45 games as ZOE with an 88.9% win rate. Let's just round it up to 89% win rate, so 40 wins and 5 losses as this champion, and with an insane KDA of 7.4 kills, 2.9 deaths, and 5.5 assists per game, which is absolutely nuts. Means that this ZOE gets a lot of kills, does not die very frequently, and still assists in his normal team fighting ability. But in terms of the runes that this ZOE is currently running, is going into that domination tree with Electrocute, Taste of Blood, Eyeball Collection, and the Ravenous Hunter for some additional healing, and then Transcendence and Gathering Storm in the Sorcery Tree. And it looks like in terms of rune stats, we've just got Adaptive Force with a bit of additional health. But just wanted to make sure when we were looking this guy up that it wasn't just luck that this season he's just playing a lot of ZOE and happens to be doing really well on ZOE, but back in Season 8, he had almost 200 games at ZOE with a 64% win rating, so he's definitely a ZOE one-trick, so I'm curious to see what he can do. And the cool thing is, he's actually going up against Team Liquid's JENSEN, and I know the spelling's wrong, but I did confirm on JENSEN's stream that this is in fact Team Liquid's mid laner JENSEN, so I'm going to be really interested to see what, first of all, what JENSEN can do on Sylas, because I haven't seen that very frequently, but also, does the #1 ZOE in the world have what it takes to go up against one of the NALCS's best mid laners? Good God, I don't know. The one cool thing, though, about ZOE versus Sylas is that, of course, Sylas does have that ability to steal ultimates, but ZOE's ultimate is going to be pretty unhelpful for the Sylas, so even just taking that, maybe a little bit of an escape, maybe a little bit more of an engage tool that he could use, but of course doesn't get anything like ZOE does with that paddle star. But if you haven't watched one of my #1 player series in the world videos yet, I certainly recommend that you do, but we're going to be mainly focused on the ZOE, what makes this ZOE the #1 in the world, what makes her so much better than, let's say, my ZOE, which is god-awful. But we will also be doing a full game commentary, looking around the map a little bit, just to see how the teams are doing and how the team builds up into like late game team fights and things like that, because I feel like you need that information to really see how these players are going to progress in the game. But we did of course see that ZOE started off with her paddle star, her Q, very common, but going for the Sleepy Trouble Bubble third, so making sure she had that W for that second skill point. But we're probably going to be seeing a Q max, because most ZOEs do tend to do that, but then we're just going to have to wait and see what items ZOE does buy. But we do already have the first gank coming down in this bot side. Right now the the Tristana's going to have to jump away from that one. Also, in terms of who we've got in this game, up in the top lane, we have got a Kale versus a Sion, Graves versus Nunu in the mid lane, ZOE versus Sylas in the mid, why did I say mid lane? In the jungle, ZOE versus Sylas in the mid lane, and then Tristana Thresh versus Jinx Tom Kench. So the cool thing about this is that I have not seen a Kale in God knows how long, which is just kind of interesting. I think Kale kind of fell off a lot. Used to be a really strong kind of hyper carry when Guinsoo's Rage Blade was really on the up and up, but haven't really seen Kale in this new patch, so we're gonna see maybe one of these top tier players can play pretty decently on Kale against somebody a little bit more meta like a Sion. But back in this mid lane, it looks like the ZOE does have a Ghost right now, so it does have some decent engage tools, but the JENSEN's actually gone for, instead of an Ignite, which I think most Sylases tend to go for that extra engage, went for a Cleanse, which I think is actually a really smart idea, mainly because if you get hit with that Sleepy Trouble Bubble by the ZOE, the amount of damage that ZOE throws your way is, I still find, quite overpowered, especially if you can flash and use your ultimate. you can just do so much damage. It's absolutely unreal. So being able to cleanse out of that and walk away and then maybe re-engage onto the Zoe could be pretty damn useful. But it looks like we do actually have a dive up in the top lane. Graves is going to miss his Q though, and Sion currently going very, very low. Graves taking a lot of damage from that turret. Man, if Graves had actually landed that Q, that might have been the first blood on that Sion. But about 5 minutes into this game, and we still do not have a first blood. Right now, it's just been a farm fest. I'm going to try to keep this, this section lower, just because I find that it takes up a lot of the map. But we will kind of check back every now and again just to see if anybody's purchased any unique items. So we are seeing Zoe come back with 2 amplifying tomes, but the Silas coming back with his Hex Tech revolver. It looks like Jensen's also gone for that minion dematerializer and a corrupting potion, so knows that he's going to be taking quite a bit of harass, knows that he won't probably be able to push the same way as this Zoe, and wants to get those last hits off with the minion dematerializer. But just going to be interesting to see how that lane pans out. And it looks like I think the Kale is actually running Kleptomancy, which is definitely a unique one. It's pretty easy to hit it because once you activate your E, your Klepto procs do come up, and it's pretty easy with that range to get those 2 autos off. So very interesting build. Curious to see what else he can get from him. Getting just mana pots and a couple wards right now, but always helpful. Trying to use that W to heal himself and also get her away from that Scion Q. But we do have Nunu down here looking to possibly gank, but no, they are just going to go for those Raptors. And it's also in terms of the dragon, we do have a an Infernal Drake as the first dragon. And oh, Zoe might be walking into a trap here. Silas and Nunu are here. She just used her ultimate, so isn't going to have that for a little bit more of an engage tool. But there's the cleanse coming out from Jensen immediately. The snowball is being rushed by this Nunu. Gonna have to flash over the wall. Cleanse is currently available for this Lulu, but nothing to really cleanse. Look at the damage, and then of course using that basically Sheen passive, but the ultimate being stolen by the Silas, so I don't know what he's going to do with the Zoe ultimate, but she is running now. Ignite going down, but it looks like that's not going to be enough to do anything really to the Nunu. Weird person to target there. Jensen is going to have to flash away from this one. Does still have that Zoe ultimate. Looks like the Tristana is going to pick up a kill with that ultimate. Jensen going down. Q landing from the Graves, and now they're turning on to the Nunu. Is it going to be enough? The Lantern is out. Graves is not going to be able to find it. Is going to dash in. Not going to have enough. Taking a lot of turret shots, and I think the Graves is going to go down. No! Still alive. Just holding on barely. The flash coming down from the top. Kench is going to keep him slowed for a little bit, and the Ignite going down as well. Is Grace going to be able to get out of this one? No, and it looks like Scion came down and roamed into the mid lane and took down the Tristana as well, so a 3-for-1 exchange in favor of this red side. Going a little bit greedy, if you ask me, and kind of a curious play by that Zoe, igniting the full HP Nunu rather than the Silas. It's just kind of interesting to me. Not entirely sure. Maybe that was just kind of a panic move there. But definitely something that we need to point out. It's not a great gank. And I don't know what the Silas... I think the Silas tried to use the ultimate up here to try to get away, but unfortunately just... you go right back. So the Lost Chapter has been picked up by the Zoe, and it looks like the Silas is probably going to be going for that Proto Belt pretty early. And look, up in the Kale side of things, 3 daggers. So has some great attack speed and also that Fiendish Codex. And it looks like a great grab coming out of Jensen. That's one of the things about Zoe is that you, of course, know where the Zoe's going to end up. But once again, kind of poking back with her own form of damage there after the Sleepy Trouble Bubble lands. The thing about Zoe, when you have a targeted ability like this, like his chains there, oh, but one Maxim going down for the second death of this game, getting absolutely soloed by Team Liquid's Jensen. But that's the exact thing that I want to bring up is just like Zoe's ultimate. If you have an ability like the Kane's E, sorry, not the Kane, why am I, it's not Silas, there we go. I kept on thinking like Sylvan. Silas. With that ability to, I think it's actually his W that uses that, but using your W to grab in onto somebody, if you know exactly where the target's going to be, it makes it very easy to land your abilities. And as we're seeing, a player at Jensen's caliber is going to easily hit those every single time. So I think Zoe's got to change tactics a little bit here, try to land those bubbles first. And try to just get the poke off rather than engaging the way that he is, because unfortunately it's just not working for them. But here comes the Nunu. The slow is going to land onto the Thresh. He does have his flash available though if he wants to use it. The turn coming in. There's going to be the flash. The nice flash into a flay onto the Tom Kench, but it's not going to be enough quite yet, taking a lot of damage from that turret. He's going to be very low, but we do have a TP coming in from the Kale. Currently 3 of them here. Zoe is here as well, roaming down, going to get the damage onto the Tom Kench. He's going to go down. The flash coming down from the Jinx as well. Jinx is probably going to be taken down by this Tristana. The heal coming over from Jinx as well. Nunu using his ultimate, but there's the Kale ultimate. That Divine Intervention going to keep her alive during that Nunu ultimate. The flash coming down from the Zoe as well. Paddlestar is going to come out, and that's going to be another kill for our Zoe. All of a sudden, in just one fell swoop, ZOE comes back in, picks herself up 2 kills, and gets herself right back into this game, currently sitting at 2-2-2, which is a beautiful scoreline if you ask me. That was a beautiful Thresh play, just kind of baiting the Nunu snowball up into that corridor towards Tribrush, flashing away and then landing a clutch hook. But here's Jensen once again. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble is going to land, going to try to get some damage here. It just lasts for such a long time, so nice one trade in favor of that ZOE over top of Jensen. But it looks like Jensen is currently holding on to Graves' ultimate. Not sure when he picked that one up, but that should be pretty nice, big damaging spell that he can use. Sleepy Trouble Bubble not going to land. It looks like the enemy team just kind of clear out as much CS as they can, but Jensen, I feel like, wants to go in. He wants to use that advantage. He's one of those players that when he gets a lead over another mid laner, he tends to go pretty aggressive on them, but Thresh is being caught out here a little bit. The snowball is winding up. The third auto attack lands from the Tahm Kench. He is going to be eaten, spit out. Thresh is going to try to survive this one, but he doesn't have his flash. He did use it previously, and that is going to be another kill for Team Liquid's Jensen. Just doing so well right now, just being in the right place at the right time and playing this Sylas very, very well. Taking a little bit of poke, and now we have 4 people in this mid lane. The snowball is winding up, but it's not going to be enough, just getting that extra little bit of speed there from that ZOE W and running away. Kayle now back up into the top side, and it looks like we're going to have to try to defend this mid lane. ZOE is very, very low on mana, though, so lots of plates going down in favor of this red side, currently sitting with about a 1,000 gold lead and 1 additional kill. But if they don't come to try to defend this mid lane, they're going to lose a very, very early turret, because right now the ZOE has no mana, and that's one of your major sources of wave clear. So not entirely sure what the red team wants to do here, but it does look like the bot lane is just going to defend their turret and pick up that juicy minion wave that's been stacking. And I'm also curious to see what jungler is going to start aiming for that first Infernal Dragon, which I would say one of the better dragons to have early to just kind of provide that early game pressure. The back is going to be stopped by this Sylas. Unfortunately, we don't have enough mana for that Sleepy Trouble Bubble, so Jensen might very well be able to 2v1 here if he plays this correctly, but looks like they are just going to kind of back off. A little bit of mana coming back for this ZOE, could probably land an E, is going to use that ultimate, get the Ignite down as well. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble is not actually going to come out, but it doesn't even matter. The unfortunate thing was that the Graves missed his ultimate, but this Paddle Star from the ZOE with the Ignite was enough to take Jensen down, so I think Jensen just overstayed his welcome a little bit. Sion going to be using his TP to try to defend this turret as best as he can. Nunu between 2 turrets here. The Kale's gonna have a little bit of a field day on this one if he can ever catch up. But ZOE now running away from this Sion. Sleepy Trouble Bubble is gonna land, but I don't think ZOE wants to stay any longer than she has to. But right now, 3-2-2, already a 500 gold bounty on this ZOE. Gonna be going back, already also has 7 stacks on that Dark Seal. So whether or not she's going to turn this into a Mejai's Soul Stealer, that's yet to be seen, but would be very interesting to see. So did go back and pick up those Sork boots, so wants to have that movement speed pretty early, probably to escape Jensen during a lot of these fights, and also to outmaneuver the Nunu Snowball. You really do want to watch out for those ones. But right now, just standing there, I think waiting just that little extra bit of gold. I think we've all played this game before, of waiting that extra like 20 gold to pick up an item, and that's exactly what was happening. Did have enough money to go and pick up that Luden's Echo, so now the wave clear from ZOE is going to be much, much better. Sylas looking like they are going to be going for this first dragon. This is definitely a pretty key thing to pick up early, but the blue team does have vision with that, that regular ward right there, and the blue team is in fact here. Oh, Graves going to jump over the wall and is going to smite it and get that free dragon, and Nunu almost dying just to that Paddle Star from the ZOE. Sylas is now under attack here. I don't know if they're going to have enough to actually take him down or even catch up to him, but Graves just dashing in, getting that smite off onto the dragon, and then Thresh landing in the mouth. Oh, horrible zap from that Jinx. I think that was just a complete misclick and getting soloed out by that Tristana. Tristana, I think, right now sitting 4-1-2 over the 0-3-1. Kayle being caught out here, using that Divine Intervention to try to stay alive, but is going to get eaten up by that Tahm Kench. Percentage health damage coming out from that one, and it looks like Social Dog Sion is going to be able to pick that one up. Sylas having to burn that flash to get away from the ZOE and the Thresh. The flash coming down from the ZOE as well. Looks like amazing amount of damage coming out of the Sylas. I don't think the ZOE's going to have enough to get out of this one, but here's the Lantern. Not sure she's going to be able to click it because there are currently those Raptors in the way. Right now, just getting auto-attacked by Tahm Kench. Can't even get away from that one. Sylas using the Graves ultimate to secure the kill onto our ZOE. Looks like the Tahm Kench is going to eat up that Graves as well. Getting spat out. Lots of healing coming down from the Sylas as well. Graves trying to get out of this one using the dash and the flash, but it's not going to be enough. Graves is still technically alive, getting out of that Nunu ultimate. The Lantern coming down as well, and he is going to get to safety so far. The snowball coming down from the Nunu, but is going to be interrupted by that Thresh, and another amazing dive getting away from the ultimate from the Jinx. Graves now coming back in to try to do some damage onto Jensen. It looks like everybody's taking so much damage from this turret, but all that being said and done, everybody's currently still alive, but we do have a Tristana flanking, which you don't normally hear. Kale is also here as well. Not going to be enough to kill the Sylas, but here's the Tristana doing some damage to the Sylas. Is going to take down Jensen. Is going to get the double kill onto the Tahm Kench, and the triple kill coming out for that Tristana with a huge out rotation. And just a really, really greedy set of plays from that red side. They got the kill onto the ZOE. It was so unfortunate ZOE actually couldn't click that lantern that was there, but it looks like once again we're going to see the battle of the ADCs. Huge amounts of damage coming out from this Tristana with that BF sword. Unfortunately, the Infinity Edge for the Jinx is just not doing anything for her. The Tristana is just blowing Jinx out of the water in this game. But ZOE is now going to go and pick up that blue buff. Did she go and pick up anything? No, it doesn't look like she had enough money for anything. Just a ruby crystal. Maybe keep her alive a little bit longer. So very unfortunate that ZOE couldn't get over that wall because of those raptors in the pit. But it was also, I don't think the ZOE was expecting the Tahm Kench to be there as well. But we do now finally have that shift in the leaderboard here. 11-8 in favor of the blue side with a 28.6k to 26.9k, about 2,000 gold lead in favor of this blue team. And right now ZOE's sitting at 3-3-2 with 108 CS. But once again, Team Liquid's Jensen sitting at 112 CS, 4-3-1. And also this Scion sitting at 2-0-0 with 155 CS. But we do have the Kale ultimate for this Sylas. Jensen picking that one up. Not going to have to use it because he is just going to get eaten up by that Tahm Kench, but very, very interesting ultimate to have. But there's the ultimate from the Kale. Going to eat up the Mega Death Rocket, and that's going to be enough though, but it looks like Thresh is just going to die anyways, and now Kale doesn't have an ultimate for herself. Looks like Thresh is going to go down. Turret's going to go down as well. 5 members of this red team are just rampaging down this mid lane. Everybody is currently here, and the Kale ultimate is still available for Sylas. Might very well have to use it. Is going to use it. Wasn't actually like the best timed one because still got hit by that rocket. Just got lucky that Graves didn't have the damage that he needed. But if Tristana jumps in, she could very well clean this entire fight up. Is going to dodge the Scion Q as well, and that's going to be a shutdown for the Tristana. You do not want this Tristana getting any more gold than she already has, but Tristana is absolutely huge right now. Already sitting with the Static Shiv and that Infinity Edge completed, and it looks like the Rift Herald is going to be summoned in this mid lane since they do have that Scion down, and Jensen is very, very low. I'm not entirely sure how much they're going to get, but I think they're at least going to get this mid turret and possibly another attack onto that second turret. There it goes, huge amounts of damage. Sleepy Trouble Bubble had landed onto the Tahm Kench, but they didn't want to engage on that one. Jinx is almost dead, but is going to get eaten up by the Tahm Kench as well. Spit back out. And look at the damage going down from ZOE, and it looks like the Sleepy Trouble Bubble has landed. I don't know if they're going to have enough to actually kill him, but yes, from a huge range, that Paddle Star is going to connect on the Tahm Kench, and ZOE picking up her 4th kill of the game. And they're just constantly rampaging down. So it was one rampage out mid lane followed by another one, and it looks like Shelly gonna get 3 attacks off on these turrets. And that's gonna be 3 turrets down in the mid lane for this team, and gonna get another attack off onto the inhibitor, which is absolutely huge. Like this Rift Herald has gotten so much done. That's gonna be, and is Shelly gonna get another one? No, I think the Jinx might actually be able to stop this one. Is it gonna, oh, and it gets the next attack off. So those Nexus turrets, it doesn't really matter as much I hit because those ones are going to recover their own health. But still, man, that was what, 4 attacks by Shelly? So that's a pretty big amount of damage that Rift Herald just did, but looks like we do have another team fight here. This is exactly where ZOE wants to fight. Everybody is in a narrow corridor. Almost one-shotting the Jinx. Is actually going to one-shot the Jinx. Getting that Sleepy Trouble Bubble is going to be enough to secure the kill on that one. Lots of damage going down as they fight for this red buff, but unfortunately, the Kale is going to go down before the red buff is taken. Tristana now running for her life, but looks like Tahm Kench is here. She's just going to turn onto this Tahm Kench, but Sylas is going to be there using that Proto Belt to secure the kill onto the Tristana and get a shutdown for 1,000 gold going into Team Liquid Jensen's pocket. That was exactly who you wanted that kill bonus to be going to, but is it going to be enough to get back from a 3,000 gold deficit with an inhibitor being down at 18 minutes? I don't know. That's very, very tough to come back from. But I think right now, ZOE probably sitting on a lot of gold. Right now, 5-3-3 has definitely picked it up. Like after, and maybe this is just how this #1 ZOE player plays, is just maybe the laning phase is a little bit more difficult against somebody like a Jensen, of course, because he is one of the best mid laners in North America. But maybe it's just when the team fights start breaking out, this ZOE can just dominate. Because the positioning is just so, I find the thing that I'm always really impressed about ZOE players is just the ability to maximize your W. So picking up different flashes, different abilities, and then using those to your advantage to position yourself differently and get additional damage off. The way that pro players use ZOE like that, I always find is just phenomenal. But We have, of course, seen that the ZOE is maxing that Paddle Star first. That's not a surprise whatsoever. But curious to see what he's going to be. Oh, sorry, he's maxed the E second. So getting that Sleepy Trouble Bubble on a little bit more of a shorter cooldown and just having that 1 point in that W just to pick up those abilities when people use them. In a max team fight, you could very well pick up 5 flashes during a fight, which is always really nice. But gonna flash over that Sleepy Trouble Bubble, but it doesn't seem to matter. The damage coming down from this team is absolutely huge. The Kale ultimate being picked up by Silas, so really wants to have that extra little survivability if he does get chunked out by the ZOE. His flash and his cleanse are up, but is going to go in onto the Tristana, but it's not going to be enough. Going to go back in, but not even going to be able to use that Kale ultimate. So once again, just a little bit of a mistake. They're trying to go fully aggressive onto that Tristana, but oh, the one shot onto the Jinx. What do you do against that? If you don't have deep wards in your jungle, that Jinx is just going to get one shot every single time by this ZOE without fail. And the problem is it's also being one shot by this Tristana. You have a huge AD carry and a huge AP carry with a great tank and Thresh and also a Kale ultimate to keep them alive. That is a very tough combination to come back from. So right now, 41.4k to 36.1k. ZOE is going to come in, chunk the Tahm Kench down to nearly half, and ZOE's going to try to get in on this one, but it's not going to be enough. But it looks like ZOE is going to run in after this Nunu and is going to get a kill. Another kill going in favor of the ZOE, picking up that Tahm Kench. It was the Tristana who picked up the Nunu, and it looks like the Thresh hook is going to go a little wide, but here is Jensen still having that ultimate from the Kale. Huge rocket coming up, but not doing enough damage, though. The Divine Intervention going to come down for Kale, and Graves is going to flash over the wall. Sion could do a lot of work here. Same with the Jinx getting her resets down, but it looks like the flash is coming down from the ZOE. Huge management of her W getting away from this one, and right now the Sion and the Jinx both died, so that's actually going to be an ace in favor of this blue side, and ZOE barely getting away from that one, but some huge damage flashing over the wall for that Graves to just engage immediately on the remainder of that team. That was a pretty good fight for the red side, and it looked better than what it ended up being, but the Sleepy Trouble Bubble's not going to land, not going to be enough damage coming out from this Nunu. I think everybody's going to have to run away from this one, but 10 stacks on the Dark Seal and a Morella Nomicon being picked up very early on by this ZOE. Not sure if that's a normal build to go as ZOE, but when you're facing people like a Silas, Nunu, and Tahm Kench, all who have pretty amazing healing abilities, having that Grievous Wounds is going to be pretty important just to be able to chunk them down and have them not heal as much. But ZOE has gone back and picked up a needlessly large rod. In terms of just overall items, the people that we need to look at here, ZOE sitting at 8, 3, and 7 with an 800 gold bounty, but the Tristana sitting at 12, 2, and 5 with 167 CS, Infinity Edge, Static Shiv, Rapid Fire Cannon, Executioner's Calling, and also that Last Whisper that's probably going to become a Mortal Reminder very, very soon. Huge items on this Tristana who could probably 1v9 this team. But you've got the sustained damage coming out from this Tristana, and you've got the burst damage coming out from this ZOE, and if either one of them gets caught, you've got the Kale ultimate to prevent them from dying. So, pretty damn good team comp, if you ask me. I don't know what the red team's win condition is on this one, because the Silas has to be so aggressive to actually get a kill in, but it's very easily countered by a Sleepy Trouble Bubble. And here he goes, going in on the Tristana, and it is going to pick up a kill, now trying to run away from this one. The Ignite, the Grievous Wounds, actually, I'm not entirely sure what's sticking down on him, but he is going to get away from that one. So we are seeing that he does have the damage to take down the really fed Tristana, but it looks like the Flash is going to come down from the ZOE, getting a lot of damage down, and also using a Blue Smite to try to take down this guy. But unfortunately, the Graves ultimate is not enough. Sleepy Trouble Bubble is going to land onto the Tahm Kench, is going to nearly chunk him down in a one-shot. That's the tankiest member of this red side. Is going to be nearly chunked down by the ZOE. And once again, the ZOE's trying to get in, gonna get hit up by those Jinx traps. Just constantly jumping in and out of this fight. The Battle Star is not going to land on Jensen, but he is very, very low. ZOE is looking for this one, trying a whole bunch of different angles, but none of them are connecting. Right now, Tahm Kench and Silas are just going to have to run for their lives, being flanked right now by the Graves. The snowball's not going to land. There's another Sleepy Trouble Bubble onto the Tahm Kench. He is going to go down. No, he's not. Interrupted by this Nunu. Unfortunately, he is still alive. Nunu ultimate is going to go down. The absolute zero, not going to do much damage. The ultimate is going to, the Q is going to land from the Tahm Kench. This is what happens when you start talking this early in the morning. Here comes the Sion though, but unfortunately the Tristana is now back alive, picking up a kill onto that Silas, getting the jump resets, already having a triple kill. Is this going to be a quadra kill for the Tristana? Is this going to be the pentakill? Are they going to let him have it? Are they all just going to stand around? There is going to be the pentakill in favor of that Tristana. It looks like, ladies and gentlemen, we do have the surrender coming out from this red team. 8, 3-11 for our ZOE player, 17-3-5 by that Tristana. Some amazing things, but we did see a lot of great plays coming out of that ZOE. Not so much in the laning phase. Jensen showed exactly how good he is on this Silas in that laning phase against our ZOE, but in the team fight, ZOE just did so damn well. So thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to let me know what champions you want to see featured in this series next, but let's go and check out the end game stats to see just how much damage our ZOE did. Not surprisingly, the Tristana out-damaged our ZOE by a decent amount, but ZOE still managed to pump out 25,000 damage, which is almost 10,000 more than Jensen and Silas in the mid lane. And with a final score of 8 kills, 3 deaths, and 11 assists, this is a ZOE that I would not want to be up against in solo queue. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.